Hello and welcome to the studio where we paint away the stress of everyday life in this really chilly studio today. Yes, I forgot to turn the heating on. But don't forget to click that subscribe button, click a notification bell, send me a comment, give me a thumbs up and a like and all that type of stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to waffle. Let's get straight into the painting because I got a nice warm, springy type of painting to do today.
It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time. And don't forget to click subscribe.
So let's have a look at the palette as I normally do. Okay, so I'm just going to use some just plain old tap water today. I'm not going to use anything special because people have said, do I need this? Do I need that? Do I need to add this to water? No, where you can just use plain old tap water. But I will tell you a little bit about plain old tap water in a second. Let's have a look. I got some of my thickening paste which thickens up the paint. I don't know if I'm going to be using that yet, but everything you need is at www.clive5art.co.uk. Pop along there. There's paints, mediums and all these other types of stuff in the shop if you're interested. Okay, so I've got a little bit of mid-red, so cadmium red or something like that. I got some titanium white, some yellow, some burnt umber, or any particular brown. You can use Van Dyke brown, whatever you've got to hand. And I got some Mars black. And I thought I'd give myself a little bit of a challenge today to do a painting. I want to do like a warm autumnal spring type. I don't know, something that to take us out of this winter period. That I'm feeling really chilly today. It's really cold. My feet are cold. They really are cold today. Anyway, let's just get straight into this painting. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white. Now, I don't know whether to use maybe a little bit of burnt umber with that. Just get a tad of that onto the edge of the brush like this, and then using the crisscross motion like that. Let's see if we can get a nice type of sky. This could be just turning from that winter feeling into like a spring type feeling. I don't know. I'm just going to make this up as I go along, but we'll make a painting up. We will. I'm sure we will. A little bit of moisture. You can see I'm not chucking my brush straight into a big pile of water. Just a small amount of water. Like that. I don't want a lot. Just a small. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of this burnt umber. Maybe this could be like just the end of that cold snap, you know, before things start to warm up and brighten up in the spring, just taking us ready for the warmth of the summer, because I think we've had a bit of a cold snap here. I'm just going to put a little bit more, just a little bit of brown in that sky. Maybe it was snowing a couple of days ago and that sky is still a little bit full of snow. Maybe, I don't know. We will work it out as we go along. A little bit more brown. I'm going to put a line there like that, I think. Just give myself an idea to somewhere to paint to. Dear, it's not been too bad here in Wales. I know up in North Wales, because I'm down in South Wales. Up in North Wales, there's been a bit of snow, and we're still only in the beginning of the year, so you know we got a lot more snow possibly to come yet. But I'm hoping not. I'm hoping we'll escape most of that snow type weather that we would normally get around about this time of year. And who knows, we all need a little bit of luck this year again, don't we? In fact, I tell you what we will do. I'm going to put this, and maybe there's still a little bit of snow left on the ground, and we got the grass coming up, and yeah, we got to get some warmth in the trees. Let's just make this up. Let's make it a springtime winter scene. I don't know. why not? Let's just have a bit of fun. We can make it any way we want, can't we? I've just mixed a little bit of black and a little bit of a burnt umber together. Let's just make up a painting. It doesn't really matter if it follows any rules. Painting is all about being able to make your imagination be reality onto canvas or board. And I'm painting on canvas. I'm not painting on canvas today. I'm painting on cardboard. There's a simple reason is I haven't got no room left in the studio. I was in the attic the other day, putting the Christmas trimmings away and things, and I'm thinking, whoa, I got a lot of paintings up here, and I spent a little bit of time just looking through what I did do, and I was quite surprised on the paintings that I forgot I'd done. And if you're like me, you've got loads of paintings hanging around, then it's a good point to maybe revisit those paintings and have a look at how you've improved since you put them into storage. Because you know, it's amazing sometimes how we do improve over time, and sometimes it'd be a good idea to think to yourself, when all this nonsense of this COVID thing is over, maybe we can get out there one day and start selling some of our work again in markets and craft fairs and all this other type of stuff, which is good. There we are. Whereas there's a little bit of a background done on there, and I don't know if you noticed that I did do a blue, what they call a blue ground there, which is trying to show through. So I'm adding a bit of yellow into this burnt umber, just to make it a little bit more on the yellow side. I'm using a little bit of white just to change the color. I don't want this too dark, and all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to plop in some shapes just like this, just in the background like that. Let's get a bit more white. Just plonk it in. Choo, plonky, plonk, plonk. Let's plonk it in like that. Let's get a little bit of a darker colour. Just here and there, and there and here, and here and everywhere. And just play with that a little bit like that. Just bring that down there. And just use your imagination, really. I don't know, just plonk it in and just make some shapes like that. Let's get some darker colour. Let's get a little bit of black into the burnt umber now, and just put another little layer, maybe just in front of that. Let's get a little bit of white. I just don't want it too dark. Plop it in like that. Bump. Okay, all I'm going to do is get a hairdryer on that. I'm going to dry it. So what I thought I'd do now is, before it gets too dry, I'm just going to scrape in a few marks like that. I'm doing pretty well today, actually, because I've just realised I haven't got my painting glasses on. I've got my reading glasses on, so it looks a bit blurry. Who knows? It all helps. I'm not going into the house now to get my painting glasses, so it doesn't matter. Just done a few lines like that, and let's continue with the drying process. Okay, so what I want to do is another brush, and I don't know if you remember what I said before about this zinc mixing white. This is a mixing white. Now, I have had a lot of comments saying that, well, we haven't got mixing white, we can't get hold of any mixing white. Is there anything else that we can use? Well, you can use a little bit of titanium white, but when you do this, you need to use it very, 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 very thinly. And I don't like using a lot of water with acrylic because it can lift the paint. But if you're going to varnish the paint in, or you're going to put other layers over this very thin paint, then that's okay, because you're going to seal it in between layers. What I normally do is use a zinc mixing white, because it is designed specifically to be thinned like this. But let's just put a little bit of this titanium white, and as you can see, it's quite opaque. This is another reason I don't like using it, because it's a very opaque paint. But what it does do, as if you can see, and as you know if you followed me before, it just actually just takes that strength of colour away from the background layers that we've put in place, and it just makes it look a little bit misty and foggy and distant. And that is that easy, isn't it? I think so. So I want to do is get maybe a little bit of yellow and a little bit burnt umber. So we've got that orangey type of look. I'm going to put a little bit of this in now. Let's make that a little bit thicker. So a little bit of yellow and a little bit of burnt umber. Look, it's this lovely orangey type of brown that we've got. We need to put a bit of this colour in there like that. We add a little bit more of this brown in and just get that colour there. And just use a little bit of burnt umber on its own as well, just to give us these shadow colours. Bring a bit of that colour in there. So we've got all distant trees in place now, and don't forget, I'm just trying to make this up as I go along, so I don't know what it's going to look like. Let's add a little bit of white. Let's just bring a little bit of contrast in. I tell you what we'll do, let's bring a bit more white into there. We could make some sort of a path or something, maybe. Where somebody had been walking there. Just get a little bit more of this orangey brown dark colour in there, because don't forget we are going to put some snow on the ground, so this is only our base colour, because you can't paint white on white because it doesn't show. It doesn't. Right, let's get some titanium white. And just put a bit of snow on the ground like that. So don't forget, this is melting snow that we're trying to replicate now. And maybe there's a few patches that are thicker than others. There you go. There's not going to be any on the trees, but there's definitely going to be a bit of snow just lying around. In the distance, we don't want it too bright because we need to bring the other snow a bit further forward. I'm going to put that brush down. I'm going to get just a detailing brush. I'm not going to go I don't know what brushes I'm picking up. I'm just picking up whichever ones I think I need. So you do the same thing as well. If it works, it works. Let's just put maybe a tree there. maybe a tree there. Maybe another cronky old tree. You just make them up as you go along. We could put another tree shape there. Now don't think too much about the trees, just let the brush twist and turn as it needs to, because inevitably trees can be just any old shape. There you go. There's a big old boy there. And they all merge into one like that. There we go. So we've got a few trees just balancing off. Maybe we'll put another smaller one. Excuse my hands. Just there like that, maybe. Okay. Now we need to get a long, thin, pointy brush. And these are called script lining brushes. There we are. It's a long, thin script lining brush. Now we do need to make this a little bit thinner. And when you get that like an ink, and you pull it to a nice sharp point, making sure you load your brush up really well, because what you need to do now is practice doing some little branches. Like that. Again, these little branches just anywhere, any shape, like that. Just have a go. You can't really make a mistake, so branches are branches. Branches come and go, they go anywhere they want. And they live anywhere they want. So you really can't make a mistake as long as you don't do them too straight. Then you're not really gonna cause any major problems. Just have fun. My paintings are all about just relaxing, painting away the stress of everyday life, and just having fun. And just keep putting them in like that. You're not going to see all of them, so a lot of these are going to be hidden by the leaves and things that we're going to be putting on there as a bit of fun. And just keep putting them in, letting the brush do the job of putting some branches in like that. Maybe this one's a bit sparse. I don't want to destroy that background. We know it's there, it doesn't matter, but we don't want to completely destroy the background. That was the aim of the game. So I just put a few old twinkly ones there, and I had a few snapped off. So going back to our little bits of snow, let's just put a little bit of a brighter snow there, just melting away. And you come down, just do it a little bit brighter. Nice wintry walk. Some points have got a little bit more snow than others. This was going to be a springtime painting, but it's turned more into a winter painting. And that's what happens sometimes. We just need to to let the painting build, and we need to let the painting merge. When you're doing something like this, you've got an idea of what you want, but sometimes the painting will take over and just make you paint something totally different. And that's what happens. And that's certainly what's happened here today. Now we can get a little brush. Let's get a little brush, and here we are. Let's put a few rocks in like this. So when you do a rock, paint the dark in first. Let's put another little rock there, maybe. Stone, rock, stone. And then get a little bit of highlighting colour. Let's use a little bit of this yellow and a little of this burnt umber, and maybe a little bit of white. Just play around with the colours until you find the colour you want. Always add a little bit of paint. Always add a little bit of colour first, just to get the... Yeah, you would just put a little bit of highlight in there. Maybe just a little bit more. Maybe just a little bit more to highlight these rocks like that. Stones, rocks, whatever they are, doesn't really matter. Get a bit of snow, which is white paint. Just put a bit of that on. I don't think I'm going to be using my thickening agent today, because I'm quite liking the way this is looking at the moment. It's looking quite sparse and wintry. It really is. Now, some trees have got leaves in the winter because they're called evergreens, and some haven't. So I thought it might be a good idea now if I just go into some of this dark colour, and maybe with a with a stippling type of brush, just put a few dark leaves in like this. Maybe leave one or two trees sparse because they've dropped their leaves. There's a couple of other trees here that maybe have got some evergreen leaves on them. There you go. Or not. It's up to you entirely. Up to you entirely how you want to do this. I'm going to get a bit of yellow because I want to incorporate a bit of yellow into this actually. I'm just going to put a few spots of yellow like that. I'm going to get some burnt umber and some yellow just to change the flavour. Don't forget to leave a couple of them trees sparse. There you go. So I've just added a little bit of colour there. We could get, I've decided maybe there's a bit of a snowfall now, so I'm just going to put a bit of some snow, maybe just caught a few of those leaves like that. There we go. And I'm just looking at this path now. I just want to make this path just a little bit darker. I'm using the same brush. I'm just going to scag in a little bit of thing like that. I'm going to get a bit of snow maybe. Put my brush down. Again, another little brush that I did the rocks with. I'm just going to put a bit like that. Maybe the wind has been it's been howling and it's caught Bit of snow on the trees there, so which would be this one as well. Like that. Bit there, like this. A few on the branches, maybe it's caught in there, and a bit of snow there. This was going to be a spring painting, but it's not. Don't forget, if this trees, if the snow is on one side of these trees, then it's going to be blown on there as well. So I'm sorry it's not a spring painting, but we have got a bit of yellow in there. But it has turned out to be a nice winter painting, so just a bit of snow there and there like that. Now you can put somebody walking a dog on that painting as well if you wanted to. You could increase the snow maybe like that. And if you wanted to, you could mix a little bit of green. Let's just get, rather than a green, because I'm not going to put blue on my palette, I'm just going to make a yellowy green. I mean, maybe put a few bits of grass. Flecking up like that. And they could also have a little bit of snow sticking to them as well. There we are. You could paint a little squirrel there. I'll tell you what I have noticed. I need just to get a little bit of this brown colour. I just need to settle this rock down. Just like that. Get a bit more snow. And you can play with these type of paintings for hours. And like I said, this wasn't planned. This has just come from my imagination. But give it a whirl. See what you can come up with. See what type of scenes that you can make. And yeah, I think that's just about what I can do today. Because it's really cold. Maybe it's because I'm feeling so cold that this has turned into a winter painting. It's sometimes when you're painting like this, it can be all about your subconscious. And if you're feeling cold, or you're warm, or you're happy, or you're sad, then sit down, do a bit of painting, and see what your imagination can turn out for you. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Hopefully I'll paint something a bit warmer next time. So from me in the studio in South Wales, very, very chilly. My fingertips have gone blue. I shall see you next week.